Hello dear friends, let's talk about problems of Skoda Octavia. The Skoda Octavia chassis is resistant to bad roads, and in the event of damage, repairs do not cost much. The suspension of this model is extremely simple, durable and inexpensive to repair. If the vehicle is well maintained, service costs can be kept at relatively low level. Serious mechanical failures that will prevent the vehicle from driving are rare. Electrical faults, central locking, and window lifts are more commonly teased. Skoda is currently one of the more reliable car manufacturers according to surveys. You can expect problems with the EGR valve failure on the higher of the two diesels, which causes increased fuel consumption and significantly lower engine power. Another problem with turbo diesel can be dirt and turbine failure due to irregular engine oil change, though this information should be checked when purchasing. If you decide to use one of the gasoline, check that the timing belt is changed regularly and watch for the strongest ones. Keep in mind that they are fast-paced, so check the clutch discs and signs of a collision for good. Also note if oil leaks from the transmission. Also, you should check the crankcase, which is due to the engine position being too low that the crankcase is not hooked to the curbs. Common problems with lambda probes in gasoline models. Common problems with failure of the timing belt plastic spanner of gasoline engines 1.4 and 1.6. The clutch quickly consumes 1.6 gasoline. The clutch on the diesel and 1.8 petrol engines are much more durable. The 1.8 turbo engine is not one of the most popular on the market, but certainly the ability to drive a Skoda Octavia with a powerful gasoline engine is tempting, especially since it is quite easy to increase the 1.8T from 150 to even 200 horsepower. But keep in mind your typical faults: bobbin and camshaft chain failures. This engine has a complicated head and does not tolerate gas supply. On gasoline engines more pronounced at 1.8T, 20V leads to frequent MAF sensor failures and one or more bobbin failures. With the 1.8 20V petrol engine, there is a problem with the operation of the water pump, which can cause the toothed belt to collapse and the engine to be destroyed. The problem occurs with earlier types of water pumps when the rotors were made of rubber or plastic. The pumps with metal rotor later did not have these problems. Replacing the timing belt on the 1.8 engines up to 80,000 kilometers if the timing belt crashes the engine. In 1.8 20V diesel and TDI engines, it is recommended for regular replacement of the belt tensioners and water pumps, as there are cases of severe engine damage due to only partial replacement of individual elements. Moreover, the buyer should carefully consider whether the timing belt replacement intervals have been met. If you are in doubt when the timing belt and the timing elements are replaced, replace them with the risk of engine damage. Frequent sensor temperature failures. The problem occurs more frequently on TDI engines. For sudden power outages and unreliable operation of the 1.9 TDI 110 horsepower diesel engine, it is usually caused by a fault in the ECU unit of the engine. The problematic units marked 038.906.018 BM should be replaced with new markings 038.906.018 GK. For vehicles with TDI diesel engines, there is an occasional loss of engine power, which is mostly due to the following factors: irregular maintenance because of old oil, turbocharger, jams, clogged EGR, Elevation EGR valve magnets, cracks in the air hoses and vacuum around the turbine, stuck levers, worrying about the load on the turbocharger bursting or clogging the vacuum tubes to control the turbine's workload, or problem with the ECU unit. Problems are often caused by the flow meter in the stronger version 1.9 TDI 130 horsepower, real injection problem, variable geometry of turbocharger, and floating flywheels. From expensive failures occur the last two. A major drawback of TDI engines is also the noise, which can cause headaches, especially when idling. Problems with the ECU engine in most of the 110 horsepower TDI, though cases of lack of power also occur in other versions. EGR valve blocked problem. The EGR valve tends to be blocked, leading to a loss of power and rough idle, noticeable lack of acceleration. Solution: remove the EGR valve and clean it. Especially with older TDI engines, there is a tendency for oil to leak. 1.9 TDI engine damages the flow meter, recommended regular installation of original air filters. 1.9 TDI engine models from the first years of production. Problem with the relay 1.9 that powers the engine, the ECU of the engine. When the relay fails, the engine will not start. The engine may also shut down while the relay 109 is cancelled. If the engine error lights does not illuminate when making contact, the relay 109 has failed and the ECU does not receive power. Frequent instrument panel failures, usually due to cold connections on the instrument panel electronics. Common problems with malfunctioning of remote central locking due to model failure. Malfunctions of the window lifter and central locking system are known to almost all users of this model. The rear wiper may fall off. The rear light unit occasionally does not work due to connectors problems. The airbag connectors are poorly designed and airbag warning light often goes off. Model from the start of production had a problem with the air conditioning compressor belt. Water leaks into the passenger cabin at the feed problem. The rainwater drainage chamber can become clogged with leaves, causing the passenger's feet to leak. The chamber is located next to the windscreen wiper mechanism under the windshield. Solution: unlocking a hole in the chamber will allow water to flow through the holes instead of leaking into the space at the passenger's feet. When braking at high speeds, the vibration of the front discs causes a great tolerance when making the discs. The problem with the fifth cylinder when braking the rear wheels, technically the rear wheels and are weaker brakes, often just because of the fifth cylinder. Suspension eraser balance rods wear out quickly, damages the shock absorbers quickly. Revocation Skoda Octavia, 25 June 2001. Possible fuel leakage on the fuel tank, 10 May 2002. Problem with the ABS system, March 26, 2003. X fault in vacuum tube power steering, which has the potential to leak. 31st March 2003. Errors when installing rear wiper in sedans. 28 August 2004. XNAM-X side airbag wiring error. Skoda Octavia. Before buying, you should know engines. All Volkswagen engines are generally good, but avoid the slow 1.4 1.9 SDI. Also check the 1.8 and 2.0 engines, as they have been called to authorized services for problems with the ignition system. Interior, look at the condition of the rear seats. If they are in bad condition, it means that the car was used a lot. Exhaust system, frequent rust. The name Skoda had never attracted thieves, so most cars driving by should not have a criminal past. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, and if you're the owner of this car, then share your experience. It will help others to choose a car. Goodbye.